Welcome
Welcome.
to episode
Episode
14.
14.
14,
Yay.
which is also the card of the day, temperance, by the way, if you don't follow me.
Yes. And we have news as of like 2 hours ago.
Big news that we got right before we started recording. Like immediately before we started.
Immediately, my crash out on my face, as you can see. My face is on Fox News.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad yours was first.
I just knew it. We got some insider scoop that the People's Sick Day was a segment on Fox News because we know they have nothing else to talk about. Okay, they definitely don't want to talk about what's happening in Texas because that would make them look bad. So
Very
instead, they decided to have some funny haha segments instead, and one of them was about the People's Sick Day. And when we got the video of it, I just said before it started, I said I feel like it's going to be a video of me. And alas, it was. It was. And it just wasn't on my bingo card for 2025.
We did not think we would be making Fox News in 2025. We thought we were going to be like this little measly podcast, a couple hundred viewers by the end of the year. You know, we'd be so excited about that if we had a couple hundred viewers by the end of the year. 1,000?
Yeah.
Amazing. Here we are. We've got like almost 12,000 followers on TikTok.
It's crazy.
And now we're on Fox News. Casey's
on
face
Fox
is on Fox News. She sent that in the text
fridge.
chain. You sent that in the text chain, and I'm just like, Casey, your face.
It's the Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
It was. I was shocked Pikachu. I said,
We were all Spider-Man.
we don't have a lot to talk about today, so we can kind of yap for the beginning a little bit, which is that we got this insider scoop, and the person who sent it to us then like fled the chat. They like gave us these screenshots and literally fled and like deleted their Discord user.
Like
and
the
so we were
Republicans who voted.
Like we just said, okay, well, where is it? So I go, okay, well, I have DirecTV. So if it's the segment that's on now, I'm just going to go downstairs and put it on restart. Of course, they don't let you fast forward because it's Fox News. They want you to be brainwashed. They don't let you fast forward. So I had to watch the entire segment. And I'm sorry, guys. I watched 45 minutes of it and it wasn't there. And then it looked like we were like way past when the person had messaged us and said it. So I stopped watching and I was like, maybe it was Photoshop. Maybe they took it. And we all thought maybe it was AI. Maybe it wasn't real. But then somebody was able to find like the uncut footage and there it was. And we were already on, Devin and I, just yapping, waiting for Kitty. And the scream I scrumped when I saw my face. Like, okay. I wish we were recording because I was literally like,
I can do you one a little better. So we might not have yours, but we got my reaction a little bit. So when I entered into the thing to log in, I just hear a big old scream in my ear. No volume control, just and I just like, it takes a picture of you when you first like log in. So there's just this picture of me going.
It is. It's right there. I can see it. You're like.
This is amazing.
It was so funny. I literally screamed. Devin screamed. I screamed for my husband. I was like, I literally screamed for Jackson to come.
I had an anxiety attack and it's not even my face.
I was trying to get him to listen and I was going to play it on my computer and then I realized I had my headphones on so he couldn't hear it. So I'm like scrambling, playing it up on my phone so he can see it because he was trying to find it and he had to sit there and watch Fox News for 45 minutes with me and I couldn't find it.
So, how was that, by the way?
Oh, I mean, there were some things that were weird that I wasn't expecting. Like they have somebody on that panel, I guess, that leans more in the middle.
Jessica Tarlov?
Yeah, yes. And so she was kind of saying that like the ICE raids were out of control and that he did go back on what he said, which is that he'd go after hard criminals. And obviously that's not the case. And then they were like, the messaging is off. So I was like, wait, are we on Fox News?
They put her on there after the Dominion lawsuit so she could be the person that tells the truth so they don't push out
Yeah, but I could.
Perpetualized.
She definitely like. She's not all the way there. Like she still agrees on
Yeah.
stuff, so it's not like fully, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If
But
we
I
all
was just
agreed on
like,
everything, the world would be boring.
yeah. But I was like a little confused. But then they talked about Texas, and I was like, I'm not even going to listen to what they have to say about that because I will spiral and throw up. So just didn't, I just tuned out and was cooking. And then it got to the point where I was like, I don't think they're going to talk about it. I think this might be AI. Maybe the person was like doing that to scare us. And then it was because they fled the chat. They literally posted it and fled. So we were all reaching out like, what time did this happen? When did this happen? Did you get a screen recording? And the person was like, peace. And so we had to do the detective work ourselves to find it. And I was just like, my face popped up and I was like, I will say for a split moment, I was like, apparently I've never been on live television before. Apparently.
This is
If you haven't seen that
interesting.
video, if you haven't seen that video of the kid, the apparently I haven't been on live television before. That was
Listen,
me.
I'm just
Never
happy
been on live
Fox
television
wins.
before. But they did the normal thing, obviously made fun of the people's sick day, said that we were all refusing to work. You know,
And then they did our job for us.
yeah, they did our job for us. They put all the information. They were like, we infiltrated the Discord server and we got all the information except for when it's happening because they apparently won't tell anyone when it's happening. And to that we say, yeah, fucking course we're
That's
not
the
telling you
fucking
when it's
point.
happening. We're
That's the
not fucking dumb. We know you guys are coming in the Discord. Do you think you were getting VIP access for free?
Half the, like, almost all of the Discord, you can't put in anything anyway. Like, it's
I
just
just don't know what they
informational.
were thinking.
It was
Somebody went
definitely
in there, somebody got some info, gave it to them, and they were like, we need a segment filler. And they ran with that. They thought that was so funny. And we
it
should
was
have accepted this.
they
We
were
should have.
definitely the random faceless profile people are like, so when are the dates? And we were like,
We were like,
and
stop
every time that
acting.
happened, we were like, this person's sus. Ban.
Yeah. And we did get on Libs of TikTok. They did
Uh-huh.
post, Tabitha did a video and then they posted that. And so we knew people were going to come in. And so we were like searching all of the profiles that were coming in and looking at their bios because a lot of you guys are not very smart. And your Discord was like, your like bio was like Trump 2024 Eagle Screech.
Trump
We
2028.
were like,
Hashtag
God.
mega.
I literally saw one that said crypto and I was like, guys, I'm sorry.
He was like,
One has liberal
Girl, the
tears.
trigger. It was, yeah. And then Devin was like, I'll catch them all. And so Devin made a post that was like, hey, hey, if you love Trump, give us a thumbs up.
I was like, hey, is anyone else in here MAGA? Give
Thumbs
this a
up.
thumbs up. But I was mad that they didn't give it a thumbs up.
Oh, they
And I was
didn't.
like,
It was the other thing, wasn't it?
I was like, I thought I was gonna get them with this. I was like, I got outsmarted by MAGA.
Some people posted like the poop emoji to like Caressa's very important message, and we were like, there they are. See, we thought they were like, no, they still are. They still are
I
out there.
misheard that story. I thought I heard it the first time that they did do it. So that was.
But they have absolutely no information because
That
we
wasn't
know
already
them
public.
They literally did our job for us. They put
didn't
all
have to
of
go
the
in the Discord.
information that we
They
wanted
read our
to send
missions.
out.
They read our mission statement to millions of people. So Fox
Thank
News,
you.
thank you for the free press.
Thank you.
Fucking bozos.
Thank you so much for the
Oh
free
my God,
promo.
Fox News, thank you so much. You literally did our job for us. You actually got our message out to like 3 million people. Thank you so much. We only need like 2 million. So if you actually got out to like 3 million households or even 1.5 million households, and you have at least one liberal or non-MAGA person in that household, wow, you just sent our message like a wildfire. Thank you so much. Really, we genuinely appreciate it. And we are having the time of our life in TikTok responding to this because you didn't reach out for our statements. Casey, what was your statement?
My statement was, fuck Donald Trump.
Fuck Donald Trump.
Because of course they're not reaching out for my statement. Of course not. If you thought Fox News was actually getting facts and getting statements from the parties involved, no, guys. So I posted that my statement was the fuck Donald Trump song, which I'm not going to sing on here because contrary to how I look, I am not going to be saying the N-word.
Yeah, I don't do that.
But you know what the song is. You know what the song is, and you can go to the video. But it's that song in particular. But just the message overall is "fuck you, Donald Trump."
Oh wait, you could censor it with the G word instead of the N word.
Listen, Fox News, I love that you're scared. I love that the Republicans are in fear of working class people taking 3 days off vacation.
God forbid. We're refusing to work, actually.
You fucking pussies are scared of everything. And you're scared of people taking vacation. Your fear sustains me. I love it. I will be cackling all night long.
You know, I wish you guys would refuse to drink and drive. You know, there's some things I wish you guys would refuse to do. That's why I wish you would have gotten my statement, or it just brought me on.
Don't bring us on a fucking new segment because
I will say that, and I will hurt your feelings.
We don't have publicists, so we're gonna say whatever.
We're gonna say what the fuck ever. I've already made that mistake, and also, Trump already said "fuck" on live TV, so now there's no holds barred. Sorry.
I would be on the whole segment like this.
Actually, I'd be doing this.
Just the whole time. Just
the shocker.
It freaks people out if you throw the shocker instead of the finger. Seriously, if somebody is like road raging against you, throw them the shocker. It like throws them off guard. They're like, "What the fuck was that?"
They'd be like, "Oh my god, them Democrats are using the gang sign. Is that MS-13?
That's two of the pink one in the sting."
Oh my god.
Is that MS-13?
You might cut that out. I'm sorry.
This is the funniest activist group ever. When we make our fucking mark, I want it in the history books. Know that this was the funniest fucking activist group.
History textbooks are just going to be a collection of memes and vines. I don't know what to do.
Like, we genuinely, guys, have the like laughter, like belly laughter, crying laughter all the time in our group chats. And then on the People Sick Day, our mod chat is just, we are constantly wiping tears from our eyes because dark humor is everything. And these people keep trying us, and it's so funny because we just rise above it all the time. We know what the mission is. Nothing distracts us from the mission. And so, yeah, people were like, "Casey, are you freaking out? Are you like, I need to go into hiding?" No, guys, I'm not dumb. Okay, guys, I knew the second I put my face out on the internet and said anything about Donald Trump that I was on a list. I was on a list somewhere, and I don't have the time to be nervous that some old grandpa on Fox News is going to go online and try to figure out my life story. I don't have time for it. I have to fight for democracy, so they can do whatever they want. They don't know how to
stop this young white woman from giving people rights.
God forbid. Yeah, try me. I knew it was going to happen. Well, I didn't know I'd be on Fox News, but I knew that.
Not this fast.
Not this fast. I just knew that obviously anytime somebody speaks up against this administration, they're automatically on several lists. So now I just got a new list, and it's fine. I'm fine. I think it's funny. And
so funny.
It's so funny. But
it is funny.
This is what keeps us going, is this new thing we're doing, guys. I'm very excited about this. This has been like months in the making, but it's finally happening. We are using this platform to hype up our grassroots candidates because this big, beautiful
Trump tax.
Yes, Trump tax just passed. And now everyone, if you weren't already spiraling, you're spiraling now. And so we need to take that and put it to good use. So this is the perfect time to start hyping up grassroots candidates because a lot of you don't even know they're running. So what are we doing? We are interviewing them. So they're like 30 to 45 minute interviews. They're going to go out once a week. They're going to be separate from this main podcast episode. So this one's always going to be Monday here on Spotify, Substack, YouTube. The interview is going to be separate. It's going to be a separate release around Wednesday or Thursday. I'm thinking Thursday, just because it breaks it up a little bit for you guys. So you guys have enough time to listen to this episode and then listen to the interview. The interviews are going to be for everyone. So it's going to be people running for rep, for Senate, for mayor, for anything, city councils, all of it. So this week we decided to reach out to our own reps first because we thought it would be cool to have the first interviews be our own people in our own districts. So
Starting
the first
local.
interview is going to be starting local, and it's going to be my district. Florida's 7th district is where I currently reside, and we are going to be interviewing Maria Lana Kinter. I'm so excited. She's running for House Representative for Florida's 7th district, and her interview is going to be dropping this Thursday, and we're very excited. Even if it's not your district, you should listen to these interviews because these candidates are amazing, and they've thought about everything that's happening right now, and they're ready to take it all back. So even if it's not your district, you should be listening to them. These are people that you're going to see in the future moving up the ranks. So she is a Army vet, and she is she's running for like veteran benefits, and in Florida she's really concerned about climate and disasters that happen here, like hurricanes, and how we don't have FEMA. She's got it all covered. So we're excited for that interview. It's going to be this week. And so every Thursday, we're going to be dropping that candidate interview. And we'll let you know that next week's going to be a pretty big one too. So we're excited.
We're very excited.
If you have somebody that you want us to interview, please direct message us, give them your information. If you are them, if you are the person, if you are not the person, give us the person's information. We'll reach out and schedule it because we want to make this weekly all the way leading up to primaries. So
as much as we can, and literally, it doesn't matter what you're running for. If you're running for local school board, we want to know that. Like, we want to get you up here. We want to know why you're running, because all of this starts local. All of this starts small. And you might not have any idea about your local elections until you look for it. So you might be thinking you're voting in every election and then come to find out that you actually had one recently and didn't even know about it. So take a look, see what's out there, and try to find out. And here's a fun thing. I'm also in a 7th district in Ohio. So Casey, you and I are both in 7th. We got 7s, which add up to 14, which is my number of the day.
See, and it's the 14th episode.
And it's the 14th episode.
Crazy how this works.
I'm freaking out.
Life's lifing right now.
Life's lifing. And we'll get right into it this week with the life that lifed at the beginning of the week.
Yeah,
Devin, take it away.
Take it away.
Life beat our ass in the form of a drawn-out, shitty reality TV show produced by, the orange guy. So the big bullshit bill passed. The saga finally ended. It was a whole lot of political theater. In hindsight, it was a whole lot of bullshit. It was bullshit. The bill was bullshit. The political theater, the lead up to it was bullshit. Throughout the week, it was this grandstanding. Republicans, they don't have the votes. There's chaos in Capitol Hill. There's an internal revolt against Mike Johnson. They're trying to get Mike Johnson to give them things so that he can bribe them for a yes on the vote. So we left off last week where the Senate parliamentarian took stuff out, said you got to fix it. They said, fine, cool, we'll make it worse. So they did. Essentially, the social safety net cuts, you can round it up, essentially went to $1 trillion. So Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP, they intentionally did it for us to start feeling the effects after the midterms, which we'll get into later. But they did that strategically. That way we can say, oh, shit's starting to get fucked up again. It's the Democrats' fault. So they did that. And even though they set that up to where we won't feel the effects till later on, we're still going to feel the effects now because a small little rural clinic in Nebraska, even before the bill was passed, said they made an announcement that in the near future they will be closing their doors because they will not be able to afford to keep them open with the anticipated Medicaid cuts. That is something we're going to keep seeing. It's going to snowball. It's going to be a chain reaction effect because, I mean, these people have budgets, so they have to forecast. Their forecast is telling them we can't keep our doors open because the Republicans fucked us. People are going to die. Point blank, period. Democrats, please start adopting that message. Please start putting it in plain speak because the whole trying to speak to everyone as if they have a fucking master's degree is not working. I digress. Throughout the week, Republicans were in chaos. They do have the votes. They don't have the votes. We got passed. It got passed back to the House after there was a whole saga with 3 to 4 Republicans that we actually, the ones that we spoke on last week. Lisa Murkowski ended up being the one person that fucked us after she didn't get anything out of it, actually. She tried to do a backdoor deal. I think they called it the Kodiak kickback, where Alaska would be exempt from the social safety net cuts. Senate parliamentarians saw that, said, psych. No, Lisa Murkowski, even though we did our best, we called the donors, we did the calls, we sent the emails, still caved like the fucking spineless jellyfish that she is, and then had the nerve to get in front of a camera after they asked her about it, and she fucking said, oh, I was looking out for my constituents, I'm an observer and all this, and the bill's not ready, I hope the House sends it back. Girl, they didn't have to just say no.
The slow pan she did when they asked her the question, she was like, and he was like, he was like, I'm just asking you the question everybody else is asking. I didn't
she
come up
was
with
dumbfounded,
this.
like
She was
people
like,
weren't going to. She was like, oh, wait, why are you asking me? Oh, you're truthfully accepting the fact that I'm the person that fucked everything up?
she was staring at him as if, like, when I did something bad when I was younger, my mom would, like, turn around in the car and look at me like, and he was like, I didn't do that. You did this.
You voted. This. I wasn't even in there. So after that, it went to the House. The House they voted on a bunch of rule changes. Then they didn't have the votes for the rules. Then they did have the vote for the rules. And then it's chaos. And then they're badgering Mike Johnson. And then they're going back and forth doing this political theater. Thomas Massie says, I have 10 Republicans that are ready to vote no right now because I'm a libertarian. And the fucking Tea Party or whatever the fucking fractions they have in the Republican Party were mad about it. Either one, because they hated the bill, or there's not enough cuts to the bill because they're fucking psychopaths. So that kept going on. And then, of course, they all caved. The Democrats, I got to give props where props are due. They did what they could. I mean, and they play by the rules. Unfortunately, being on the left is hard. So they did put it on the record that each and every one of them walked up to that fucking podium, that they tried to get the rule put in, or no, an amendment put in that would take out all the social safety net cuts, all 212 of them. That went on for a couple hours. They said no. Fine. Hakeem Jeffries filibustered for 8 hours.
Because he didn't want them to pass it in the middle of the night. He wanted everyone to be awake.
I dunk on him a lot. I dunk on Hakeem Jeffries a lot. I am capable of giving props where props are due. He put it out in the light of day. That's what he did. Mm-hmm. He also bought people time to call their reps, do whatever crafty shit we were doing, call the donors, send the emails, do what. I got to give props where props are due.
He broke another record too.
He broke
He
another
did.
record. The two longest records for filibustering are held by black men: Cory Booker, Hakeem Jeffries. Cory Booker, you're still on the shit list, but Hakeem Jeffries, I will give you props until you inevitably piss me off again. So,
But we give
Yeah.
props
good
where props are
job.
We
due.
give props where props are due.
We give
And
props where
yes,
props are
a
due.
lot of these bills, they try to pass in the dead of night. And he said, not on my watch. All of you are going to watch this happen. All of you.
Yeah. Um,
Which
but
is why they voted and then ran away.
in the middle of all of that, they the Republicans that got the bribes to finally cave and vote yes, they went off to the White House. They went to see Taco, and then it comes out. I don't see. This is the thing where I don't know what's what anymore. Trump doesn't know what's in the bill. It's like, excuse me? Trump says just get the bill done as long as you don't touch Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. And they said, but we are. And he said, well, don't touch it. And they said, what? So I don't know if that was more of the political theater, but then he's also stupid and illiterate. But he also doesn't care if people die. So did he know? Didn't he know? I don't know. Whatever. It fucking passed. ICE is now the fucking largest fucking essentially police force in this
They're the
fucking
fucking
country
police.
with their fucking however $100 billion that they got. It's more funding than the fucking military of Italy.
It's barely old enough to drink. It's only like 22, 23 years old.
Yeah, so it passed, but listen, we can't just roll over and take it. Okay, so like we said earlier, we're doing the People's Sick Day. We're doing the general strike. The Discord's open. Fox News is in there. Go fucking come on in. Everybody, the door's
You
open.
too
Come
could
on
be
in.
on Fox News.
It's an open house. It's an open book test, people. Like it is all right up there. You can read it.
You didn't even have to go in the Discord. It was on the website.
It was on
It
the
was there.
flyers. It's on the flyers that we're posting on our local libraries chat rooms. Like what?
So if you want to punch back at the fucking bill, this is how you do it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I got.
Well, ice update of the week. We've got more updates because it's never gonna fucking end. Because now they got more money than freaking God at this point. Thank you, Voldemiller.
Miller Lite.
We're still on 3,000 a day as the quota. That didn't change with this bill. No, we still need a quota of 3,000. That's the first update. Still 3,000. You're still going to see them everywhere, and it's going to get ramped up because they got money now.
It drives me so much when they call it a quota too, because it's like these are people. They're not things.
Oh, they're quotas. They're
like,
quotas to them.
Calling them quotas and like
Like your sales quota.
Dehumanization.
Gross.
Well, here is the ICE update. So there is a man that is currently facing deportation. He literally saved a 9-year-old from a shark attack. Let's talk about it. Luis Alvarez jumped into the water and came face to face with a shark to scare it away from a girl after it nearly severed her hand, which successfully, it did not sever her hand. They were able to repair it.
Well, it was severed, like almost entirely severed. However, it was successfully reattached with pins because they got to it in time.
Yes, that's what I said.
Well, it wasn't that it was not severed. This thing was like hanging on by like a thread. She picked up her hand. It was bad.
4 days later, after this heroic, I mean, he should have been given like a Medal of Honor, because who just jumps in and risks their own life for a girl they don't know? Well, I digress. At 4 days later, he was pulled over for driving without headlights. He did not have a valid driver's license. We always want to give the actual facts here. He did not have a valid driver's license, but he did show them that he does have a work permit. They did arrest him because he didn't have a valid driver's license, and then he was handed over into ICE custody, even though he has a valid work permit. And now he is facing deportation. His hearing is this week. Mind you, this man saved a girl's potential life. But that means nothing.
No respect.
Apparently. That means nothing to them. Nope.
You can read the full article on our Substack.
Next, we've got Kilmar. I made a video earlier, a little bit earlier this week, because he has now come out and what we all hoped he would do, which is talk about the treatment that he faced at CCOT. And it's hard to hear, very hard to hear. So I'm giving a trigger warning that we are going to talk about things that you might not want to hear, but I do urge you to hear them because it's not just happening to him. This is just somebody that we're able to hear from, because there's still hundreds that are probably not going to come home. So you need to hear this. He said that he was basically beaten repeatedly. He was beaten by fists of workers, batons, and they would use the butts of their rifles. And he was forced to kneel for hours on end. And if he fell over, they would then beat him again. They did not let them sleep at CCOT. If they even started dozing off, they would make really loud sounds and blare bright lights into their eyes. And if he ate any food, it was either scraps or a little bit of watery soup. That was his treatment. And then the worst part of it was that they would threaten him while he was there that if he stepped out of line, that the MS-13 inmates would rip him apart. Because they knew that he's not part of MS-13. And they knew that the reason that he migrated to the US was that he could get away from El Salvador and the gang violence there. That was what he faced while he was there. And yet he still hung on to a bit of hope that he'd be able to see his wife and his family again. Now, I want you to think about this in terms of what we said. The people who are not going to be able to ever tell their story. He was there for months. What about the people who are still there? A lot of them were going on 4 or 5 months of them being at CCOT. A lot of them aren't at CCOT. A lot of them were just sent to any country, and they're in the streets trying to figure this out. We don't have updates on hundreds of people, and we may never have them. So, hearing these conditions and hearing the treatment should make you think a little more when you say you're not political, or you say you don't want to ruffle feathers, or it's not my business. It is your business. It is political. Because anyone who's okay with human suffering, human torture, is on Trump's side. And I'm not going to let you twist that on me and say that you're just not political. You are either for or against human torture. Make that decision. But that's what humans are facing. Human beings. And I'm going to let you know that children are involved too.
Everything's political.
Everything is political. And with that, we are also going to talk about the fact that more than half of the ICE detainees in the United States do not have criminal convictions. What did Trump tell you? They talked about this today on Fox News when I had to listen to it. That he made his message saying we're going after gang members, we're going after hard criminals, violent criminals. So why do more than half, or any, but more than half of your detainees have no criminal convictions? According to the data, 30,000 do not have criminal convictions out of 56,000 total detained. And we're not going into the semantics of what the convictions are. You know, those are just the stats overall. So think about that, because on Fox, even the Fox correspondents were like, yeah, that's not the messaging he gave us. Mm-hmm. And the last one we want to talk about is another one that kind of hits hard, especially to mothers. There is a 25-year-old woman. Her name's Paula, and she was detained by ICE last week while attending her green card interview, because that's where they love to hang out. You know, the people who are trying to create their legal path to citizenship, they can't even do that because, God forbid, they show up, do anything, do it the right way. Yeah, she was detained. Now, the part of this is she told them that she is 3 months postpartum and that she is exclusively breastfeeding her baby. Also, her husband is a Marine Corps veteran. They've been together 6 years. She has no criminal record. And now she's sitting in a detention center separated from her kids and from her child that she exclusively breastfeeds because of a 2018 deportation order tied to her mother. A hearing Paula says she didn't even know about. She had no clue. Her toddler is asking where her mama is. Her newborn had to be put on formula now. And her husband is driving 8 hours round trip just to see her through the glass. And this government, the one that never shuts up about, we got to respect our troops and we don't take apart military families, we take care of them. Mm-mm. What do you have to say for this? Mm-mm. You have a woman sitting in a detention center for a deportation order that has nothing to do with her. There's no humanity left. I mean, we know that, but they're detaining breastfeeding mothers mid-appointment. And I'm just telling you right now, if they're willing to do this to a veteran's wife, they're willing to do it to anyone.
I mean, we already covered that they were kidnapping military spouses. So, like, they're not above any of this shit. The cruelty is the point. I wouldn't be shocked if the reasoning for the military spouses being taken away was to keep them in line. Honestly.
Oh, yeah. Of course. To say, right,
go against the grain.
Zip it because
we're snatching wives. Okay? We're not above that. We're unhinged. We don't care.
It's instilling fear.
This is par for the course. Not shocked.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, while we wait for Kitty to come back, I'll at least introduce Alligator Alcatraz. We have spoke about it here on this podcast. It was built in what, 8 days?
It feels like 2 weeks. Yeah, like
it was like 2 weeks, but like 8 days of like building it, and then they had to do their whole celebrations of it opening, and now it is open, and there are detainees there. We actually on Friday or Saturday we did a live, and while we were on live, USA Today was able to get aerial footage of Alligator Alcatraz, and looked like everyone was sitting outside. The detainees were all outside, and half of them were wearing orange jumpsuits and the other half were wearing white jumpsuits. I don't know what the differentiation of color means. I don't know, but they were all outside. Some of them were waving up to waving their hands up to the helicopters. Some of them were just all sitting on the ground in circles, and That's what we've gotten. We do know that it has already flooded. There
Yep.
is active flooding happening right now. And mind you, we are not in a hurricane currently. We didn't even have like a tropical storm hit us. We had some bands from a tropical storm, but we didn't actually have a tropical storm hit us. These are just your typical Florida thunderstorms. So if it's already flooding right now with your typical Florida thunderstorms, imagine a hurricane season, or imagine just bands that hit over and over again from tropical storms.
My fear is that they want that to happen. They want the water to get in.
Oh, they want the water to get in. They'd love damage and destruction from a hurricane so that they can say, well, it wasn't us. It was a hurricane.
Like,
It wasn't us. It was a hurricane that we couldn't predict because, Elon Musk and Doge gutted the National Weather Service and the NOAA. So we actually couldn't predict the hurricane. So it's not our fault that all those people died because of the flooding.
it's eugenics right in our face. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy that it's right in our face. That's the wild part.
It is. It is wild.
It's insane. I can't. It's hard to fucking wrap your brain around that shit. And then the fact that it was 450 million spent on that, I don't want to hear another government official ever say we don't have the money for something ever again. Because we do. We do have the money.
They got FEMA money too. FEMA money. So I don't want to hear Rick Scott and Ron DeSantis after the next hurricane get in front of the destruction like they always do on their little podium and scream that we need funding for the destruction. Because you could have had it. You could have had it.
Like, it's there. Like, the money for these things are there, and the 1%, because all these people that are government officials, they're the 1%. It is 2% of them that are part of the working class. So it's literally the fucking rich elite that are in these positions of power that are like, they don't need it. They can die.
And they don't care.
Fuck it.
Like I'm just going to keep going because Kitty's not here, but Laura Loomer went on a Twitter rant saying that now that Alligator Alcatraz is open, we can just start feeding them to the alligators.
That was the biggest dog whistle ever.
And even Elon Musk himself censored her.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk on X censored her.
Because she said there's about 65 million potential people, which coincidentally is the amount of people in the Hispanic population.
Mm-hmm. And then was like, why are you censoring me? This is how comfortable they are. Comfortable they are.
You just made an ethnic cleansing tweet.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you did. Casually. And so the rest of us are done. So what happens is there are people actively outside every single day protesting this torture camp because it's a torture camp. So what has happened is people have started to notice some trucks coming in and everybody started filming them because why would 4 food trucks be going into Alligator Alcatraz? So when that happened and we all got word of it, the People Sick Day said, ooh, no. Why would a food truck? This was before they had detainees in there. So why would a food truck be going into Alligator Alcatraz? So what happened is the People Sick Day creators, including Devin on our page, put out a video showing those. There were Kona Ice, Mr. Cheesiest, Elote Lovers, and Churromania. All 4 food trucks were seen going in to Alligator Alcatraz. We made a video saying you should boycott these places because why else would they go in there?
And let me tell you how quickly all 4 of those companies turned off their comments. Some of them deleted their Google business that you couldn't leave reviews, or had the reviews turned off so you can't leave them. Took down their Yelp pages because you can't remove reviews from Yelp, so they just took it down, and basically turned off their social medias because everybody got on there and was like, no, we're not doing this. We're going to boycott you. You don't have an immediate answer. So a lot of them, it took like over a day for them to start answering. I think they were really hoping we would just shut the fuck up, and no, we didn't. Their apologies were those ChatGPT apologies, except that none of them denounced what happened. None of them said, like, we are completely against this as a company, and, Kona Ice, we do franchisees, we didn't know, and we immediately have removed that franchisee. Like, they didn't do that. They just said, like, oh, we're so sorry this happened. We love serving everyone, and we're so sorry of how this looked. That was basically the response. It was like, I'm sorry it looked this way.
We want to make money from everybody, regardless of your political beliefs.
Yes, everyone should be able to get shaved ice.
Everybody.
Everyone.
All of you.
We said, that's not, no, that's not it. That's not good enough. And so as of today, it's been like 3 or 4 days now since it happened.
Something like that.
They still have not turned their comments on. It's bad. Mr. Cheesius's response was basically like, we got asked to do a job and we did it. So, like, they didn't even apologize. Their statement was like 4 sentences, and it was like, we got asked to serve active service members, and we did it. So we're just letting you guys know that you guys got to start thinking outside the box, because right after that happened, people started messaging us saying, hey, have you been on Etsy? Because Etsy is now selling Alligator Alcatraz merch. And we all went, what? And lo and behold, a simple search on Etsy was Alligator Alcatraz merch. Alligator Alcatraz, established 2025, that type of merch, cups, shirts, car magnets. So what did we do? Devin turned it around again, and everybody started making videos saying, hey, Etsy, what are you doing? So then I was sitting there and I said, you know what? I'm chronically online. I can't fall asleep. So I decided, it was the night going into the 4th of July. So I decided to message a bunch of these sellers, because I was like, you know what? Let me start messaging them. Let me message them. So I messaged probably like 20, because a lot of them are the same shop. They just had a lot of merch. So I messaged them pretty much saying like, hey, you guys should not be profiting off of torture camps. Why would you do that? Take it down. You're not cool. You're not slick. Take it down. I was not expecting to wake up, especially on the 4th of July, and have some of these sellers reply to me. But they did. And the ones who replied to me were very apologetic. I will say some of them denounced it, saying like, I come from a family of immigrants. I have independent people who make merch that put it up on my shop. I didn't know about it. And I will say that everyone who said they were going to take it down all took it down. There was one seller that thought they were doing the right thing and said, I just put up merch that like goes against, like, I hate alligator, like fuck Alligator Alcatraz shirts. To which I responded, I don't think we should be making any shirts that say Alligator Alcatraz on them.
Shouldn't
in
be
general.
Profiting off of it at all.
We just shouldn't be profiting off of the fact that people are unfortunately probably going to die and be tortured here. So
that's how fascism works.
Mm-hmm. So she responded, and she did take down those shirts as well. So when we sit here and everyone's like, it's never going to work, boycotting doesn't work, doing this doesn't work, calling them out, all I had to do was send messages to people. They didn't even know who I was. I never said like, hey, I have this platform with 11.8K and I'm gonna, I didn't say who I was. All I did was just message them and say, hey, this looks really bad. Now, what I will say is that morning when I woke up and checked my email, I had an email from Etsy, which was basically warning me that if I messaged any more people, that my account was going to be muted from messaging, meaning I couldn't message anyone.
It gave me vibes of, Casey, stop. Stop it.
Casey,
Stop.
stop.
Casey,
Stop Let them
Stop
be.
it.
Don't draw attention.
Don't draw attention to this.
Stop.
Stop.
So I had crafted a bunch of responses. I didn't even realize until I sent the response that it was a no reply email because they didn't put at the bottom like they normally do, like, this is a no reply email.
I hate it when they do that.
So then I had to go
Sometimes-
searching for an email, which I did get, and I did respond and put that email with the new email in there. They didn't fucking respond because they don't want to. So now every time I go on Etsy, I still have been messaging people and they haven't muted me yet. But I will say that if you are somebody that has the time and, you know, you don't think calling your reps or boycotting a business or calling a business or emailing or messaging or doing any of those things work, they do. Little old me just messaged people and they took their shit down because they didn't expect to be called out at all. So shout out to us for standing on business and saying we can't just be like, we hate these politicians. Also, you know, people fund them. People also take contracts to go serve at torture camps. And we can't allow that anymore either. So it is Kona Ice, Mr. Cheesiest, Elote Lovers, Churromania, Etsy is on the shit list. Sunbelt Rentals is a brand new one that we put out today. Sunbelt Rentals has been seen in and out of there.
And they have government contracts. I mean, they specifically are meant to help do things at national parks as well. So, like, the fact that it's never, this kills me, that they built a concentration camp on the Everglades National Park. That eats me alive.
It was a big FU to the national parks. That's what they did. They were like, oh,
big
bet.
FU. So now there is the bit of truth that Sunbelt might not have a choice. However, it is important to still call because when their contract is up, they will then have the choice. So keep that in mind. Yes, we know that sometimes they don't have a choice. Sometimes they have to fulfill their obligation to the government. We get that. That's not really why we're mad. We're mad that it's happening at all. They should not have to be asked to come in and help. And the fact that we know that they just flooded, we know what they were there for.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone keep boycotting and we will post videos and updates because people are still out there. And if we see your truck, sorry, my dog's running up the stairs. If we see
I had to run away and feed the baby. It's fine.
Sorry. If we see you out there, trust that we will be making a video about you. But thank you to everyone who is joining in on the boycott. But we do want to address what's going on in Texas. Kitty, if you want to take that.
Yay, I get the fun ones. Not really.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. None of them are fun except for the Laura Loomer one.
Yeah.
Okay. So trigger warning here, unfortunately. At least 82 people are dead in Texas after flash floods caught residents by surprise. And this is exactly the thing that weather balloons, meteorologist reports, all of those things are meant to prevent because they give you the AccuWeather forecast that helps make sure that you get all of the alerts to your cell phones. You remember those? You remember getting the weather alerts? Now we have meteorologists in Florida like months ago were saying, hey, we're not going to be able to accurately predict the weather anymore because of these Doge cuts. And everybody was like, no, it's fine. They're getting waste, fraud, and abuse. They're getting waste, fraud, and abuse. No, they were not getting waste, fraud, and abuse. They were just firing a bunch of people that the government has had to rehire. The majority of the job growth in recent reports were rehired federal workers that were fired by Doge. Just saying. So because of all of that chaos, we now have over 80 people dead in Texas because a simple alert that we have the technology, the science, all of the infrastructure in place to use. We have everything ready to use. We've been using it. And Kristi Noem had the audacity to go live on TV and say that we were going to try to find funds to help this, find ways to make it, lots of us in there, Kristi. You were shaking like a goddamn leaf. You shouldn't have even fucking been there. What were you doing there? What was Border Patrol doing there in Texas when it comes to people freaking missing? What were you doing there, huh? You had no business being there. I would expect, Pam Bondi and Attorney General, I could understand that to some degree, but Department of what? I mean, RFK Jr. might as well have been there with you. We'll
She wants to be
find these
seen.
young girls. Anyway,
Okay.
so this drives me fucking crazy because all we needed was some accurate weather reports. But no, they would rather let a literal camp of girls get washed out in the middle of the night with nobody the wiser, and many of the parents of these children are overseas, not even in the country right now because they were on vacation while their kids were safe at summer camp. They trusted that their kids would be safe at summer camp. And now they have to find a way back home to bury their children because you took money away from reporting accurate weather in time to stop catastrophes. This is your fault. And I will not let you forget that. I refuse.
Mm-hmm.
So, fuck Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
That part. That's a good segue into the next one, kind of. Because we're going to debunk the myth that keeps popping up. Oh, we're not going to have elections. Now it's midterms are around the corner. What makes you think we're going to have midterms? We're not going to have midterms. I don't know, because they've always happened and they're going to keep happening, and there's nothing that I can tangibly see that's going to stop elections or midterms. Yes, okay, we all have our thoughts on the presidential election. We think it was fucked with. Okay. Here's the thing. Elections are held by the states. It is a state thing. They're not held by the feds. So this is why we saw the SAVE Act, because they can't wake up and snap their fingers and say, you guys cannot hold a contest for elected officials anymore. We are watching national wide gerrymandering attempts, poll taxing.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it looks like, what's happening, that we, like, if you're like so lucky to live on the East Coast or like California, this is what happens regularly in the South. We're just seeing it in our faces now, and we're all freaking the fuck out. People in Texas, Florida, they're like, oh yeah, they do this all the fucking time. But that now we're like, this is outrageous. So the SAVE Act, it was, we all knew about that one. There was a fucking lady killer. It essentially would fucking nullify women's votes because their last name would have to match their birth certificate, passport. I believe social security card was
Mm-hmm.
too. All of those things, they all had to have the same last name. Oh, and what's that thing that a lot of people do? Get married, right? So that there was also an executive order that they tried to put into place that everybody, I believe, had to have a real ID. It
Mm-hmm.
was taken down in a fucking federal court. They said, no,
No.
this is gerrymandering. Like,
Mm-hmm.
everyone, you can't, we let you get away with it in the South. You can't do it on a national
Yeah.
scale. So that's the
We don't
thing.
do poll tax, and that is a modern day poll tax.
That is
If
a
you have to
modern day poll tax.
pay to vote
It
by
is a
getting a real ID.
$200 to get a passport,
Mhm.
for example. So in
Yeah.
place of getting like a birth certificate, a married woman with a different last name could then get a passport, and that would count as her identification. Or, if you change your name like JD Vance,
Mm-hmm. But you have to
JD
pay for it.
Vance.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
poll tax. And we haven't seen in your face poll taxes like that because we've evolved as a society. It's just more covert now. But so he can't wake up and say elections are done. That's not going to happen. That's why you were seeing it try to be slipped in through legislation, through bills. It was not in the big shitty bill. That was misinformation. It was literally a fucking text that was put in like somebody's notes app. Somebody screenshotted it and said, "Oh, he gets to control elections for the rest of forever." Posted it, and everybody said, "Look, he can control elections. This is real." And then when you ask people for the source, they get pissed off. They're like, "Oh, well, no, like stop doom fantasizing about it." It's like you guys want it to happen so bad, you will get it calmly and logically explained to you, and you will still say, "But oh, never say never." So, do you want the confirmation bias? So you want him to wake up one day and say, "The elections are done," and then you can come and say, "See, I told you."
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. You people need to hear yourselves. Elections are going to happen. The midterms are going to happen. You know how I know that the midterms are going to happen? Because the Republican House member, damn it, I forget his name. I did a video just on him today. It was something Green. House member Green from Tennessee. He announced that he is retiring. He is out of Congress effective July 20th. He said the big, beautiful bill was his final vote. He knows that bill was bullshit. They know that when the midterms come around and that their constituents realize that that bill was a fucking death letter to them, they're going to want to immediately get rid of them. And he said, "I know I'm not getting reelected. I'm cooked.
He's dead.
I'm out. I told you guys to go die. So is my career. I'm gonna head out." So that's the red flag for me right there. That's the, oh shit, they know they're gonna catch on to us. Tom Tillis, he fucking tried to do his final stand and say this bill is shit. They said he retired. He said, "I'm not running for re-election." They probably said, "We're done with you. You're not loyal." So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
The midterms are going to happen, and they're freaking the fuck out about it. They're not going to come out and say, "We are so fucking scared because we know we just fucked you guys over and we can't figure out a way to fucking control these elections." They're not going to come out and say that. Is that what you think that's not going to happen? They're going to say radical left lib Democrat, radical activist judges, it's the Dems' fault, Joe Biden and Barack Obama. Mm-hmm. That's what they're going to say.
Yep.
So
as always,
the elections are happening. Rant over. Stop giving them the power that they don't even have. That is called obeying in advance. Cut it out.
Yeah.
Now rant over.
Cut that shit out. And because of us, ending up on Fox News, we thought the political tarot this week should be for the People's Sick Day, since obviously we are popping off and doing really well. And so before she starts, we're just going to say the People's Sick Day is still happening. Don't get that twisted. It's coming. 3-day nationwide labor and economic blackout. We have not announced the dates. Sorry, Fox News.
Sorry, people in our TikTok.
Fox News.
When is it? When is it? Somebody literally just went in my TikTok and asked that on my People's Sick Day post. They were like, "When?" All caps. I'm like, "No. When we have the numbers."
Send them the link to the Fox News segment and say that's why.
Just say, "Jesse, is that you?"
We need enough people on board in order for it to have an effect. So once everyone that we need is in, you will know the dates. They will drop. And when they drop, if you are able to take 3 consecutive days off of work, please do so. If not, participate in the economic blackout, meaning we're not going to be spending money. We're not going to be listening to any streaming services. We are quite literally going to sit our asses at home and not spend any money. Eat the food out of your pantry. Do not go get a nice coffee.
Read some books.
Read some books. Pop a DVR in, a CD, clean your house,
DVD. Go back to the 90s, bro. We're going to go back to the 90s.
With your family.
Play The Sims on the computer.
We'll be on live throughout that whole 3 days. So
I'll be doing some tarot readings.
But it's coming. Sorry, Fox News. And we're going to get a little tarot reading as to how we're looking over here.
Oh my God, we are having a blast. Okay, so we have cups, a lot of cups in this tarot reading, starting off with the past. So these are our 2 past cards, starting with the 4 of Cups, which is kind of stagnation, waiting, perfect for waiting for something to happen, waiting for us to get the numbers, waiting for everything to come into place. And this is a person who is easily persuaded. I have a feeling that it might be the people in our Discord who leaked our information on Fox News, because they literally did us a solid. They literally offered up everything right there. Everything that we wanted. They just put it right there for us. And as a result, we kind of got a little thrown off of our feet. We were like, what the hell? What just happened? Fox News did a report on us and they didn't even talk to us? How rude. That was rude. That was pretty fucking rude. So as a result, we are throwing shit up. We are messing everything up. They're scrambling. They're freaking out.
Boo, tomatoes.
We were like, say what now? Here, let's just flip the script. And you might have caught us off guard for a second, but we're about to catch you off guard entirely and overthrow that crown. Look at that. That was gorgeous. I love seeing the tower. It makes me so happy. I know other tarot readers are scared of it. I love the tower because imagery. We're knocking off the crown. What do those people look like? Do they look like your average everyday people? No. We're overthrowing the freaking people that don't need to be there. And this is our future. Judgment Day is coming with the Ace of Cups. I don't even think I need to talk about those. What do you guys think?
I think it speaks for itself.
I think that speaks for itself. I think this is going to be very successful.
I'm so happy.
The People's Sick Day is
That
coming.
makes me so happy. Join the Discord. Join our community. We're doing it, guys. We're not sitting around and complaining.
Funniest activist group
Funniest
ever.
People want to make fun of me for playing with toys. They're like, you know that's a scam. I'm like, who's paying me?
Who is? Right?
My Cash App is still at $2.
A bunch of people making immature jokes all day.
Right.
I make potty jokes with my toddler.
Oh
we are so funny that we have segments like, yes, that really did happen, which we will end this week on because there were some funny things that happened this week.
The first
one, the White House, after they passed their Trump tax big beautiful bill, they decided we need something good to post on the official White House page. We need to one up ourselves from Daddy's home. And so what did they make? The intern went back in time and found that Bump It commercial. We remember the Bump It, the girlies now. They found that Bump It TV commercial and did a voiceover about how it's like the big beautiful bill.
Gross.
I can't. I saw that. It came on my TikTok.
What?
I'm like, that can't be real. That can't
Is
be
it
real.
a Bump It commercial?
And then I saw it on Amanda's Mild Takes. I'm like, oh my God, it was fucking real.
Guys, if you are a millennial, you understand two things when you wake up in the middle of the night. You either wake up in the middle of the night and it's what's his face? Oh my God. George.
The late night commercials.
No, the dun 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 the show. George. George Lopez. Yes. You either woke up in the middle of the night and that
there
show
were so
was
many
playing,
shows, man.
or you woke up and it was the Bump It commercial.
Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apply directly to the forehead.
Oh my God.
It was like when you wake up at 3 a.m. and you're like, Bump It commercials on, you've fallen asleep. That's what it was. That was crazy. The next one is when the big beautiful bill decided to pass and go back to the House. They all needed to be there to vote, and Nancy Mace was not there. So what did she do? She got in her little van and they road tripped her there instead of fucking flying. I don't know. They could have flown. But no, they decided to drive. And when she got in the van, she was in her PJs and she made a video. And in the video, her mouth is like blue. And it's not even like the blue. It's, you know, if you drink red wine, what I'm talking about. You've drank a lot of red wine, your mouth is like almost blue from the red wine. That's what it looked like. She had to make a pit stop at like a Waffle House, and she was trying to talk to everyone there. And when she showed up at the Capitol, her dog was with her, and she was like stumble. It was bad. So she showed up in her PJs with her dog, wine drunk.
I have a theory as to why she drove instead of flew. Because there's no fucking air traffic controllers.
Yeah, that's why their flights were getting delayed. A lot of the Republicans, so they couldn't get there on time. That's why we were seeing a lot of no votes. Initially.
Consequences of your own actions. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad.
And then we also had
This is my one. This is the one for me.
it's your favorites.
This is my favorite.
While this is all happening, Trump puts out a True Social saying that he has now dropped Trump fragrances for men and women.
No.
Let's do a little reading, shall we?
No.
I know we're going a little over time, but trust that it's worth it. So this is called Trump fragrance. There's a ton of fragrances. Don't you even worry, guys. Not all of them are sold out. There is lots of options. They have Victory 4547, and it's shaped like a trophy. They have Fight with when, you know, he got shot in the ear. And then we just have
one of those the other day in a head shop.
We have Victory, and it's just his face. So those are the fragrances. Unfortunately, 2 of them are sold out. Oh man. But they do have an FAQ page that we would like to read to you. So somebody asked, what's so special about these fragrances? And they said, our official Donald J. Trump fragrances are a tribute to the Trump legacy, blending premium craftsmanship with distinctive style. When will they ship?
I don't know if distinct is the word I would ever use in reference to a scent.
Yeah. When will they ship? Your order will ship at the beginning of December. So no, you guys aren't getting this anytime soon. Not even until December. Yeah. And then, are these official fragrances? Yes, these are the only official fragrances by President Trump. And shipping is free for orders over $120. We are unable to ship to Puerto Rico, Guam, U.S. Virgin Islands, P.O. boxes, reshippers, or package forwarding services. And the only country that we currently ship to is the United States. And then, what is the refund policy? There are no refunds. All sales are final. And the last question that they obviously had to throw in there is any money from this collection going to the Donald J. Trump campaign for president? No. GetTrumpFragrances.com is not political and has nothing to do with any political campaign, even though all of our fragrances are named after him being the president.
President.
I can't. I just
Victory 4547 is not political.
It's just
Stupid. Idiocracy is a documentary.
It is honestly baffling. It is. But what is more not even baffling, which is just funny, is the last one, which is obviously they had their little 4th of July fireworks, and they had the camera zooming in on Trump and Melania, who were alone watching them. And she literally had her hands on him, and she was stiff arming him. He was trying to get in there, get a little snuggle, and she was like stiff arming him, and then they kept zooming in, and she's staring at him like she wanted to do it. She is waiting on the biggest check, and she knows it, and we all know it. And she was staring at him like,
I swear she was the way she was pushing him away, and
She was like,
the way news sources were like, "Oh, they share a kiss." Is the shared kiss in the room with us? Because there
yeah,
was
you're
no
saying,
shared
"Is the
kiss.
kiss in the room with us?" Because he
Like,
literally like went to kiss her, and
he
she was
went,
like,
and she's
you
like,
could see her hand shaking, trying to
like,
push him
she is.
away.
I felt the secondhand embarrassment through my phone.
There
That
could
was
not
bad.
have been more
I was still like,
emphasis.
yikes, yikes,
Yowza.
yowza. So yes. But guys, that is episode 14. Obviously crazy. We did not expect to be on Fox News, so that was a whole
That threw us
tangent.
off. That threw
It
us off like
for a loop.
an hour and a half. I think it
Mm-hmm.
delayed our recording because we
It
were
did.
laughing too hard and making
It was-
videos and
I
talking
had to make a
about it.
response. It was crazy. But rest
We had to
assured,
diss
we'll be
Fox
back with
News.
our normal episodes. So keep your eyes out on Thursday for our interviews, our grassroots candidate interviews coming up every Thursday. And make sure that you subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, Substack. Make sure you're following us on TikTok and on our Blue Sky. And make
All
sure
the
you're reading
socials.
the articles on Substack as well. Our podcast is on there, but Kitty's also doing articles throughout the week. And if
When
you
I
want us to
can.
cover anything, make sure you're emailing us. It is bluelusionalpodcast@gmail.com, or you can DM us. Our social, all the DMs are open.
And we
always
have a
keep them
chat on
open.
Substack. You can go into Substack when you subscribe. You can join our chat feature there. You can pop in there. It's not very active right now, but it's there. If
It's
you want to,
there.
if you want to send us a message, you
Yeah.
can.
We answer.
So,
we're not
we
big
answer.
enough. Where
Yeah,
we're
we're
not.
not.
Answer you.
Yeah, we're all chronically online. So,
And especially me,
we
stay at home mom.
yeah. So
And I work
message
from
us
home.
if you want us to cover anything or interview anyone. But yeah, that was episode 14. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for listening.
Catch you on the next Fox News segment.
Bye.
Bye.